Hi, dear students. So, tomorrow you are about to do the exam. So, first of all, it's in all the best from Eduport Plus. And this time, that is just before the exam day, it is important to revise all the concepts that you have learned from each chapter. Okay, and it is important to have a formula sheet by your side because you have to revise all the formulas, equations and concepts that you have learnt. Okay, so today I am about to discuss the concepts that we have learned, that's concepts, theorems and everything that we have learned in the chapter circles. As you know, this chapter is based upon more about proving questions and not the point that you have to revise the questions or you have to practice the questions in the NCERT textbook, because that is being asked repeatedly. Okay, so it is important. Fine. So today I am about to discuss the concepts that we have learned in this chapter in a nutshell. Okay, fine. So circles, so it's a little tiny thing. We just introduce what circle is. So circle is the set of points in a given plane which are at a fixed distance from a fixed point. No one is going to ask you this in the exam, so we don't have to explain it more. You just understand that. And then circle and a line. Okay, circle and a line. So this is important, as in your 10th standard you are dealing with the tangents. Okay, so here you can see three figures, and first one there is a circle. So first one there is a circle and a line. So what do you think, this circle and line? This line does not touch the circle, or it has nothing to do with the circle. So it is simply a line only. Say simply a line only. And what about the second one? So in the second one, this line intersects the circle two times. So it is called a secant that you have learned. So this line is called a secant. Okay. And what about the third one? That is what we have learned in 10th. Okay. So that is this line touches the circle at only one point, or intersects the circle at only one point. That is called the tangent. To the point of a circle. Okay. So these are the importance, like circle and line. So what is a line? Simply a line that doesn't have anything to do with the circle. And then secant which intersects two times, and tangent which touches the circle at only one point. Okay, so tangent only one intersecting point, secant two intersecting point. Okay, secant two intersecting point, tangent only one intersecting point, and a secant only two intersecting point. Okay, a tangent intersects a circle at exactly how many points? Tangent intersects a circle at, we just learned that one point. Okay, now a secant intersects a circle at exactly how many points? We learned that 2 points. Now tangent to a point. Okay, tangent to a point. Let's see. Here is a circle. Okay, and this is a tangent. To a circle. So this is a point. This point is, I'm giving it as A. So A is a point of the circle, and this tangent I'm giving it as PQ. So PQ is a tangent. That passes through the A, that is intersecting A. So tangent to a point. So A is the point and PQ is the tangent to the point A. Now a line that passes through exactly one point is called a tangent. A line that passes through exactly one point is called a tangent. Okay. Now a circle can have infinite tangents. So here you can see a circle, and this is a tangent of this point, and taking this point, another tangent. Okay, that's not a tangent. Another tangent. Okay, now here another tangent, and here another tangent, here another tangent. How many tangents you can make You can make a lot of tangents, infinite number of tangents, because a circle has infinite points. A circle has infinite points and infinite tangents we can make. So a circle can have infinite tangents. Now there is only one tangent at a point of the circle. So let's see, here is a circle and this is a point. So just a tangent passing through that point. Just a tangent passing through that point. Can you make another tangent passing through this point? No. Like when you make it like that, it will be secant only. It will be secant only. So that is not possible. So exactly one tangent is possible at one point. So there is only one tangent at a point of the circle. Now what is this point of contact? What is this point of contact? So this is a circle and this is a tangent to the circle. This is a tangent to the circle. So this is the point of contact A. Point of contact A. Because why it is called as a point of contact? The point where the circle and the tangent meets. Okay. The circle and the tangent meets, or where the point tangent intersects the circle, that is called the point of contact. Okay. Okay. How many tangents can be drawn from a point on the circle? We have learned it from a point. Only one tangent is possible. Now, what is the total number of tangents a circle can have? Infinite. We have learned it. And the next is very important. That is the theorem 10.1. So in this chapter, you have learned theorem 10.1 and 10.2, which are important, and you have also learned the proof of these theorems. So even you are a basic student, like basic math student or standard math student, you can expect this proving question. Okay. So theorem 10.1. Theorem 10.1 is nothing but what we have learned in theorem 10.1. So a circle, and this is a tangent to the circle, and this is the radius of the circle. Okay. Now we can name. So this is point of contact A, and this is the PQ tangent, and this is O, that is center of the circle. Now this OA is nothing but R, that is radius. Okay. Now this theorem says that the radius and the tangent makes perpendicular. Okay. The radius and the tangents are perpendicular. The radius and the tangent are perpendicular through the point of contact. That is, here it will be perpendicular. What do you mean by perpendicular? That is 90-degree angle. So it will make 90-degree angle. So radius is perpendicular to the tangent. A radius of the circle. For a circle, the radius is perpendicular to the tangent through the point of contact. That is the first theorem we have learned. Okay. So the tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular to the radius through the point of contact. Okay. So based upon these, you have to deal with many proving question or finding length question or angle, finding angle type of questions, all of that. So here you can see an example related to that, like PQ is the tangent of a circle with the center R. If the radius of the circle is 3 cm and length of QR is 5 cm, find the length of the tangent. How can we find it? Because we just know that this angle is 90-degree. Okay, because radius and the tangent are perpendicular. So we can say that angle is 90-degree. Okay. And when it is 90-degree, that's a right angle triangle, then you can solve it out easily. You can solve it easily. Now, a tangent PQ at a point P of a circle of radius 5 cm meets a line through the center O at a point Q, so that OQ is equal to 12 cm. Length of PQ is being asked. So here we have to construct the figure. Okay, we have to construct the figure. So simply a circle and PQ at a tangent PQ at a point P. So there is a point P and there is a tangent. There is a tangent and PQ. There is a tangent PQ. And what did they say? A circle of radius 5 centimeter meets line through the center O at a point O. Point Q. Okay. So here O. Okay. And this O and Q being connected. Okay. O and Q being connected. Okay. And we can connect this because it's a radius. So this is radius. So radius is given 5 centimeter. Then OQ is also given 12 centimeter. We know that this is 90 degree. How? Because tangent and radius is perpendicular to the point of contact. Tangent and radius is perpendicular to the point of contact. So that's it. So now we can solve it easily, right? You can solve it. Okay, now tangent from a point. So tangent from a point. Tangent from a point. So here is a circle, and this is a point outside the circle A. Okay, and tangent to the point. So this a tangent, one tangent and another tangent. Okay, that's not a tangent. Yeah, okay, now it's a tangent. So two tangents are possible from external point to the circle. Is it possible? Is it possible? Is it possible to have another tangents? No. Only two tangents. Only two tangents are possible. Only two tangents are possible from an external point to the circle. And what is a point inside the circle? Point inside the circle. Point inside the circle. So this is a point inside the circle. How many tangents are possible? Is it tangent? Tangent. Is it tangent? No. It's chord and secant only. There is no tangent possible inside the circle. There is no tangents possible inside the circle. Now, point on the circle. Point on the circle. Okay. Point on the circle. So, this is a point on the circle. And how many tangents are possible? Only one tangent is possible. Only one tangent is possible. You can't make another tangents. We already discussed it. So, only one tangent is possible. So, point outside the circle. Point outside the circle. Point outside the circle. So, let me take a circle. Let me make a circle. And there is a point outside the circle. So, this is a point Q outside the circle. And how many tangents are possible outside the circle? How many tangents are possible outside the circle? No, there is no connection. Like there is no connection. So there is no tangents are possible. Okay. Next, we have learned another theorem, that is theorem 10.2, which is also important. You have had a lot of questions based on this theorem. That is like proving question. That is like finding the length of question. Many type of questions that you have dealt with. Now, this theorem is very important. What was that theorem? So, the theorem was the tangents drawn from an external point to the circle. The tangents drawn from an external point to the circle are equal. So, here a circle, and there are two tangents from a point, the external point to the circle. So, here is a one tangent. It's not making tangent, okay, and another tangent. Okay. So, this point is Q. This point is Q. So, here we can give a P. Okay. So, there is two tangents BQ and AQ, or simply PA, PB. That will be better, right? So, we can see P, then A, then B. So, there are two tangents PA and PB that is drawn from an external point P. So, according to this theorem, we can say these tangents PA equal to PB. Tangents from an external point to the circle are equal. That's the theorem that we have learned second. And you have also learned how to prove these theorems. So, that is also important. So, for you like basic students, you can definitely expect a proving question. Either it is from tangent and radius perpendicular to the circle, or the tangents drawn from an external point to the circle are equal. You can expect either one of these. Okay. Now, this based upon these questions that we have already discussed, from a point Q, the length of tangent to a circle 24 centimeter, distance of Q from the center 25, then the radius of the circle. So all of these questions are based on the theorems that we have learned. Okay, so you can use tangent perpendicular to the radius, and tangents drawn from an external point to the circle are equal. All of this you can use. And let's see this question. How can you find the angle PTQ? So this is like a simple question. So here we know that this OP and PT makes 90 degree because because yeah, that is radius and the tangent is perpendicular. So here is also 90 degree. Okay. So in overall, let's see, OPTQ is a quadrilateral. So we know that angle sum property of a quadrilateral is 360 degree, right? Okay. So we can see this angle will be 360 degree minus 110 degree plus 90 degree plus 90 degree, right? So what will you get? 360 degree minus 110 plus 90 plus 90, that is 180 plus 180 plus 190, that is 290. Okay, so you will get 70 degree. So the angle PTQ is 70 degree. Okay, all right then students, now we have discussed the things that we have learned in this chapter, and now I would like to say you that you are about to do the exam tomorrow, and it's important to revise every chapter's important concepts like formulas, equations, and each things that you have learned to revise. So utilize this time to revise everything and use a formula sheet, like have a formula sheet by your side, and use it well just before the exam to revise everything. And it's important to understand the marking scheme by checking onto the sample paper that CBSE have given you. And yeah, that's it. Now all the best for you, and yeah, thank you. Bye bye.